Hi, Richard Moore here from 8 Step Startup. So, what do you do to improve video? If you're recording video like this, I'm going to give you 3 things you can take away from this to improve things. Because, you know, I get asked all the time, Richard, what can I do to make my video a bit better or make it a bit more accessible? And the reality is, as you can appreciate, it depends what your video's for. Sometimes there are more formal videos you've got to put together. Sometimes you've got to, you're doing something quite long, so you need to think about how you put that, structure that. Whereas sometimes it's something you're going to chuck up on social media, perhaps like this one. So there are huge amounts of tips you can take, but here are 3 that are really crucial. If you're not doing them, change and do this right away, because it'll make the difference with those quick videos you're going to chuck onto social media. Number 1 is don't rehearse too much. You know, I've seen some people with scripts. If you have a script and you're reading, if I'm reading like this and trying to look at the camera, it's not going to really work out because I'm not going to come across like I'm engaging with my audience. Part of that is becoming a bit more natural in how you speak. So maybe you have to practice 1 or 2 times. Yeah, that's cool, but try and be natural. Just say it. You know what you want to say, so just try saying it. And you'll be surprised what you can remember as you're going along. You get used to it anyway, but it's important to do this because in being natural, you'll find that people feel like they're almost with you. So you know what, I could stick this on a tripod, but if I'm holding it up, it feels like you're right here with me. Some of you have seen my other videos. I just shoot them in the car because it feels like you're driving along with me as well. So try and be natural by not rehearsing too much and not having big old scripts unless it's something that really needs that formalization. Therefore you need some kind of auto cue. The second thing is think about your background and your surroundings. I deliberately shoot videos like this in an office, my home office, just with some books in the background. It's nice and tidy. This is where I work. But why is that? It's because I'm targeting startup business owners. Most entrepreneurs aren't wearing bespoke suits working at the top of, the Gherkin in London or the Empire State Building dressed like power suits. So what you've got to bear in mind is who your audience is. A lot of entrepreneurs and startup business owners, and I've worked with this kind of space for over a decade now, they're just dressed normally. They're just normal people. They're working at home and they're busy hustling over 80-hour weeks. So they're not going to respond to a background that is particularly showy or a person who's dressed in a smart suit and tie necessarily. So you've got to think about who you're targeting. I'd be chucking a suit on if I'm doing more corporate things. So another one of my businesses where I do operate in that space, well, sure, I do that, okay? Likewise, if you're familiar with the likes of Tai Lopez, here in my garage, look, I happen to have a Ferrari, Maserati, and Lamborghini that I accidentally have put in the background behind the video. Well, he's doing that because he's talking about the good life and it's aspirational. Here's what you can achieve as well. You see what I mean? So it needs to be applicable, your background, to what you're doing. But a word on it as well, think about little things that might jump off the page. Okay, so make sure if there's a whiteboard, don't put customer numbers on it or anything like that. Be careful, maybe wipe stuff off. If I had a mastermind session, I might wipe some of that stuff off because it's pretty juicy. And people pay for that, a lot of money for that kind of thing. But also, I've seen videos like that in the past where there's, a plate of unfinished food or some underwear that needs washing, you know what I mean? So think about how you're going to create that background, okay, to make sure it resonates with the people you're trying to target and it speaks about you in the right kind of way. But thirdly, perhaps the most simplistic thing that makes one hell of a difference is rotate your camera. If you're going to use a smartphone, turn it round so it's sideways on. How many times have you seen these videos where it's this long slither, you got the video in the middle and these 2 big black bars either side? Something I did when I first started shooting video, and I thought, actually, I was told, I think, just turn it 90 degrees, then you can actually see people using the kind of perspective we have with our eyes. A tiny thing, but you see a lot more, and again, it helps with engaging. Hope that helps. What ideas have you got? What things work for you? What tips could you add to improve video if you're just shooting something like this for social media? Speak to you soon.